Is it going?
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so I am here with Erica Burfield from Erica B Home Solutions. We are talking tonight with Mingle and the real estate market and staging to sell. I'm Lisa Page with the Next Page team with Keller Williams Realty. And again, I'm here with Erica Burfield. Erica, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so like she said, my name's Erica. I'm a Wilmington local. I've lived here since I was a year and a half, so I wasn't born here, but I feel like it's long enough to claim local status. So I started my organizing business 4 years ago, and I have worked with clients from Bolivia all the way to Jacksonville. I've even been over to the West Coast and all the way up in the upper regions of the East Coast, helping clients get their home organized in a logical and practical way that makes it so that you're able to maintain the organization.
Awesome. And I want to invite Erica on with us tonight. Not only is it really important to have your home organized and cleaned up before you get to sell your home, Erica's actually has worked on our own personal home. So I really know her skills, and I really know that she could be a very valuable asset to many people as they're looking to get their home ready to sell, or even if they're looking to stay in their home long term, just to live a more peaceful home with items not taking over your world. So, all right, Erica, if you're ready, let's get started here. And
Yeah.
so first thing we have, what does it mean to actually stage a home? So home staging is the art of decorating a home to sell it quickly and for more money on the market. Home stagers set the stage for potential home buyers to imagine how they can live in a property and make it their home. So this can be as simple as using items the homeowner has already sold or already has, decluttering a space, or bringing new furniture and items into the home to really make it a great space for potential buyers. So does staging really work? So according to the National Association of Realtors, 31% of buyers increased their offer on a home 1 to 5% because the home was staged. 77% of buyers felt more able to see themselves moving into a staged home, and 40% were more willing to get in the car and visit an online find that was staged. So this was actually one of my listings that we had. This was the picture on the left was the home when it was not staged or renovated, and the picture on the right was after it was staged. Items were brought in, and we spruced up the home. So some differences. Number one, I mean, the picture itself is a little bit wider, a little bit clearer to see. However, when you look at the space itself, the walls are a much more neutral color, and the space is decluttered, and the decor in the home and in the room really bring out what that space really looks like. It allows the buyers to really envision what the space could look like with their furniture brought into it. So when you are looking for paint colors or flooring colors, these are so important when you're looking to renovate a home to get ready for it to sell. So when we meet with a homeowner, we like to take a look at what the paint looks like. Number one, if there's any scuff marks on the wall. Also, what the paint color actually is. Not every buyer is going to love a neutral paint color. However, we do recommend it just for selling purposes because it's going to adhere to most buyers' tastes. So some of the paint colors that we highly recommend, Benjamin Moore, Classic Gray, Dolphin Fin, Agreeable Gray, Repose Gray. We have Accessible Beige in our home as well, which is a Sherwin-Williams brand. And also, again, very neutral tones. It's going to appeal to the most buyers. Most buyers prefer if a home is neutrally painted already rather than a seller offering a paint allowance. This is another big one that when I go on listing appointments, many times sellers say, well, you know, I know the paint is not perfect. We can just offer $2,000 to $3,000 for a buyer to come in and either paint the home on the interior themselves or the exterior. Sometimes a buyer may like that. However, most buyers, when they're walking into the home, unless they're an investor, they're hoping that the home is move-in ready. They want to be able to take their items, bring them into the home, and organize them rather than having to do major renovations. So again, we're looking at what can change a home's value the quickest. We are looking for paint colors and flooring colors for the quickest and easiest repairs. When we come to a listing appointment and we meet with our seller, we talk about our photography and how that appointment is going to be set up. And we also give a lot of these items that are on this slide to our homeowners to get their home ready for a photo shoot. So some of the things we tell our sellers to do is to, before the photographer shows up, to remove all vehicles from the driveway, move garbage cans out of sight from pictures and or Matterport, put away all toys, bikes, and other accessories in the yard. That includes your gardening tools, your lawn equipment, and hoses. You want to sweep the driveways, sidewalks, patios, and decks, or leaf blow it all off. Mow and rake the lawn. Trim your hedges and trees as needed. So you can see in the picture that we have here, this is one of my favorite listings for landscaping. You can see that while the homeowner has a lot of great landscaping, all the bushes have been trimmed back so they don't deflect from the condition of the home, and yet there's still some great landscaping in the picture and in the curb appeal. If you have a pool, you want to remove all pool floats and cleaning supplies from the pool, put them away in a shed, put them out of sight, away from the view of the picture. Also, you can look at pressure washing and cleaning your siding and also your brick as well. And you can make sure that all the paint around the home is in really good condition and there's no peeling paint. This is also very important for certain loan products such as FHA or VA that many of the appraisers are going to ask for exterior paint or interior paint if it is peeling to be fixed. So we want to get ahead of those repairs so it doesn't become an issue when we go under contract. Then also for the interior, how to get your home ready before pictures. So you want to turn on all lights and open the blinds, turn off all fans. That's the most important part so that the fans are not blurring in the picture or the Matterport. Then turn off all TVs in the home. Clear the countertop spaces in the kitchens and bathrooms other than necessary, maybe one or two appliances or items on the countertop. We want to show as much space as possible on those countertops. You want to make the beds nice and neat all throughout the home. Declutter, and that's what Erica is going to talk about, is how to declutter that home to remove as many items as possible and leave the most important items in view. You want to remove unnecessary furnishings and belongings, touching up that interior paint and trimming as needed. Put away all pet beds, litter boxes, toys, water bowls, food bags, anything to show that any animals live in your home. And I hate to say it, we have dogs, and yet not every buyer is going to want a dog in their home or cat in the home. So we like to just adhere again to all buyers and put those items away as much as possible. Then we are, you want to hide all stereo and TV remotes, conceal all exposed cables and electrical wires. And there's some great little tools and products you can use to hide those wires if it becomes impossible to get them through the wall. You also want to remove personal photographs. This can be, of course, for safety reasons. It's, you know, you're going to have people come into your home that you don't know. So we want to, you know, remove those personal photographs as much as possible because unless you don't want it to, these pictures will be on the internet. And then also the reason why we recommend removing personal photographs as much as possible is we want buyers to look at this home as their home when they're walking in, which I know is really hard as sellers to really understand. Again, we want them to feel welcome, like this is going to be their home. So that's what really helps us by removing those personal and sentimental items from the wall and off our tables. You want to tuck trash cans out of view, clear bedside tables, put away all our articles of clothing, even if it's last minute and they need to be tucked away in a closet. Just get them off the ground, off any furniture. I've noticed when we go in and typically when I'm there with the photographer and I'm looking around and moving some items before photography, I do notice one of the places that people miss the most is the towel behind the doors. I'm sure you've seen that too, Erica. They just get hidden behind there. And Matterport, which is the virtual tours, we do take those on all of our listings. And so that's a full 360 view. So we want to be sure that all those items are taken and put in away, even if you think that you may not see them just from the plain picture view. We also want to be sure that we replace all burned out light bulbs, and I highly recommend getting ones that match. So there's LED, really white, bright bulbs, and then there's a more yellow tone. It kind of depends on the home. I would say most people are leaning more towards the LED, whiter, brighter bulbs in most situations. However, if your whole home is yellow bulbs, make sure they match. And make sure at least that there are bulbs in the socket. I know it sounds so silly. It is one thing that buyers do look at for how somebody maintains their home is if a simple light bulb is switched out. So we don't want that to become a deterrent just simply for not changing a light bulb. And then we want to actually plug in and turn on all lamps, even the small little bedside table lamps. Let's get those on. The idea is when you're taking pictures or for showings, we want to get that space as bright as possible. So natural light can do great wonders, and yet even with natural light, we want to fill that room with light to show the daylight coming in. All right, so when we look at showing the home, so once pictures are taken and the property is actually active on the multiple listing service and showings, we are ready to go on those. There's some items and things that we want to do to get ready for those. And you'll see a lot of these do overlap from how to get ready for pictures. And then there's also a couple things that you want to do specifically just for showings or even open houses. So we want to turn on all lights and open blinds as we did. We also recommend to play a classical or soothing music that's nice and calm and will really be inviting to a buyer walking through the home. If you have a fireplace and it works, definitely turn it on. Again, it's an inviting feeling coming into a home with a fireplace on. Turn off all TVs in the home. Again, clear all countertop spaces in the kitchen and bathrooms. During this, we also recommend, especially for showings, to have a little central box that you can have, a little container to put all of your essential items, all your toiletries in the shower, so that when you're ready to get ready for a showing, you just throw everything in and move it under the counter or out of sight, or even take it with you in the car. It's just really easy and quick. Then again, make all beds in the home, put away all articles of clothing. This is where I talked about that small storage container. Turn off all candles, wax melts, and plugins that produce a strong scent. I have been in homes many times where whether clients just really like a really strong scent and so they have it on, or if they have animals and they're trying to mask the scent. Either way, strong scents can be a deterrent for buyers. Not only can it give some buyers headaches, no matter what kind of scent it is, but it looks sometimes like you're masking, even if you're not, and you just really like those strong scents. The best way before showing to clear out air, especially if you have pets, do a light citrus, cinnamon, or vanilla scent throughout the home. Diffusers are really good to use, or other light, not super strong candles. But also try to open up the windows right beforehand, and then also get the fans going right before you leave to clear that air out. Just, especially in the winter months when our homes are all stuffy, it can be hard to get that fresh air in there. Also, another good tip there is to change your air filters a lot in your HVAC so that airflow is constantly going through there and is filtering out a lot of those smells. Again, cannot stress that enough to not have super strong scents in your home. Also, with that, choose only one scent for the entire home, if any at all. So do not do 5 plugins that are all different scents all around your home. It'll confuse buyers and it will overwhelm the space. If you can, remove all pets that are, of course, if it's a lizard or a caged animal, that's fine. But most importantly, dogs and cats, if they can either be moved to a safe area of the home, away from buyers walking through the home, or even, I know some people may not like it, if they can be put in a crate, if they cannot be moved from the home, is your best bet if you can't actually take them out for a walk or take them in the car. I know some of our clients during just the showing process have also signed up their dog for doggy daycare during that time, just for those couple of showings that they have, especially if it's a hot property that may go under contract in a week. It may be worth it to have your animal at the doggy daycare for those few days to allow those showings and to get as many people in the home as possible. Also, really, really important that you place all valuables or prescription medications in a safe place or remove them during showings. So if you have a safe, hidden, put those valuables in there. We do not want to attract anybody going through our home and our spaces, so we really advise to put those valuables and prescriptions in a safe place. And honestly, the best case scenario, if you're leaving for a showing, you even want to take those items with you, so there's no risk there. That's probably the best case scenario. Of course, if you have if you're just doing regular showings, a buyer's agent will be with your clients walking through. I know my husband Kyle always shows homes, and he's always there with his buyers. So we fortunately have never had an issue with that, and hope to never see an issue. And again, we do advise all of our sellers to take those necessary precautions just in case. Also, the other really big thing, you can do this before pictures, but most importantly before showings, it is so worth it to hire a professional cleaner to deep clean the home before showings begin. I like to think that I have a fairly clean home with animals, and yet just like anybody else, or Erica coming into our home, or me as a real estate professional coming in your home, you're going to view your home differently from any buyer walking into your home. Some sellers are very critical of their home. Others, you may not notice everything because you're living in it every single day. So having that professional cleaner come in and do a really great deep clean is going to allow you to get all those places clean that you may not notice, and yet another buyer may do so. All right, and Erica, you want to?
Yeah. So let's talk about decluttering to sell and preparing to move. And ironically, I actually just finished up with a client today. The movers come tomorrow. So this is very fresh for me. So we just finished, going through her home, and really the premise and the thing that we kept talking about, and the thing that I would, encourage everyone that's in the process of selling their home or thinking about it, is to do all of those things that you were just talking about, Lisa, but also think about the fact that, okay, I'm moving. Do I want to take this stuff with me? Because when we're in our homes, we get comfortable, we keep the stuff, we have, the gift bags that we think we're going to reuse and then we forget about, so we buy another one, and we've got the piles of it. And realistically, do you want to take it to your new home? Whether you're downsizing, so you've got a larger home now, you got to get rid of stuff to be able to fit in the new, smaller home. Or if you're upsizing and you've got more space, that's an even better reason to declutter, because then you have the space to spread the stuff that you want out, so it looks very nice, and you can get the nice drawer inserts and organize the cabinets and everything. So I always recommend that when you are decluttering your home, start with the main areas like the kitchen, the living room, and the garage, and the pantry. Those are the main areas that when a potential buyer is coming in, that's what you want as your neutral zone. You've got your bedrooms. If you're still living in the home, it's still going to have your bedspread on there. It's still your bedroom. And correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but I feel like potential buyers walk into a bedroom and go, this is a nice bedroom, but also understand that somebody's still living there.
Yeah.
So start with those main areas. Start small. So, don't say, okay, this Saturday I'm organizing the entire house, because realistically life is going to happen. Your kids are going to need you, and stuff is going to get delayed. So start small and say, okay, I'm going to work on this section of the kitchen, and then get that done and reward yourself with maybe, Chick-fil-A for lunch, and then come back and say, okay, let's hit the next part of the kitchen, and just kind of work your way through, but do it quickly and be ruthless. I mean, the faster you go, the easier it is. It's kind of like pulling off a Band-Aid. So as you are decluttering and you're pulling stuff out, go ahead and start packing up those items. So the client that we just finished with, we were pulling stuff out of the closets, going through it, and then going ahead and packing it up. and storing it in the garage. So that way, when the photographer came to do pictures, they were able to take a picture of a beautiful empty closet. and be able to really show how large the closets are. So I have on this slide, ask the one question, do I want this in my new home? And that's really a theme that you will pull throughout your whole home. I always recommend, to keep the three things: the necessary, the best, and the heirloom. So, think about with like kitchen tools that, you've got 5 different plastic spatulas. So is it necessary to have one of them? Yes. But let's pick the very, very best one, like the nice one that you splurged on from Williams Sonoma. Keep that one and then get rid of the rest. Like, you just need 1 or 2 of the item. And then of course you want to keep your heirlooms. Like those are things that you hold special to you. Go ahead and pack them up, write heirlooms, write keepsakes on there, and then that way you have it ready to go for the new home. So hit that next slide for me.
Awesome. And Erica, what I find with that real quick, I find too, what you're talking about with like, even, if you do have a lot of those items and we need to get that out of the home for those pictures, it's a great idea as well to move them possibly, like you said, into the garage. And then that'd be great too to actually have a good storage unit ready to go, so that once you have it in your garage, just start packing it up into the next storage unit, so when you get your new home you can just move those items right from there. And it makes the moving process a lot less stressful, so that you're not moving everything all at once, and it makes your home look so much better before you get into that new home.
Yes, absolutely. So like I said, easy tips and tricks: be ruthless. If you want to sell the items that you're getting rid of, price them to sell. Be realistic too. If you have something that you bought for $50 and it's 5 years old, chances are it's really only worth like 5 or 10, maybe 15. Be realistic with yourself. If you price it to sell, it will go. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with it and you'll be moving it to the new house. So bins and baskets transform spaces, but process through your things before buying them. So what I mean is, process through your closet, get rid of the stuff that you want to get rid of, and chances are you might find out that you only have half of the stuff to contain. I really love to use a nice fabric tote bin. You can get it like Walmart and Target for like $5. Put, if you have folded up sweaters, put them in the bin and put that on the shelf. It looks a lot nicer than just the stacked up sweaters that you knock with your elbow and then they fall over, but you're running out the door because the buyer, because you got a showing. Yep. You don't have that problem. So labeling is really helpful, especially in the new house. When you're unpacking and organizing, go ahead and put labels on stuff so that way everybody knows where it is. But also when you're
labeling, I loved it so much.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to find everything when everything is labeled.
What a concept, what an idea. But also it's really helpful when you're packing up, because if you're in the process of decluttering and maybe your house isn't even listed yet, but you're going ahead and packing stuff up, put a label on the box. So that way you're not having to open it up and see what's in there before you move. Another idea is to stand at the door and then look into the room and stage it that way, because as a buyer, you're going to kind of walk to the door and pause, look at what you're going into, and then go into the room. So you want that transition to be nice and welcoming for your potential buyer to come into. And then, of course, store packed items in one area, in the garage, if you don't have a garage, maybe in a spare bedroom, but just in one area. A buyer that comes in and sees boxes everywhere, that's not very appealing. Like, it looks like you're in the middle of packing to leave and they're, being a bother. Mm-hmm. And of course, when in doubt, hire a professional.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, hit the next slide for me. Okay, so here are some just before and after pictures and some tips that I have of making things look nicer. So this one is to use matching hangers. You can see the picture on the left is quite chaotic. The picture on the right, all I had done at that point was switch over the hangers. So hangers is one of the easiest ways to transform your closet. And these are really great. They're the felt hangers. They're non-slip. You can get them at TJ Maxx. You can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond. You can get them on Amazon. But if that's not in your budget, even the dollar store has great hangers that you can just pick up and switch them out. So that way it's a nice cohesive look as you come into your closet.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, next one. Okay, so this is for the pantry. So you want to sort by like item and arrange symmetrically. This is all the same food in there. There was no food taken out of that picture on the left from the picture on the right. It was just sorted, and then we made it look nice and pretty. So don't you think that if you were to walk into a pantry and see the picture on the right, you would go, oh my gosh, this is what I could do with my pantry. I mean, it's
well, and I was going to say too, because I've seen it, I've sold those homes on, even when I was doing more buyers, where I've brought buyers into the home and the home was cluttered. And so naturally a buyer, as they're walking in, if they see clutter, is going to assume that other home maintenance was lacking because
Yep.
it's cluttered. And that's, I think, just human nature. So seeing this on the right says, you know,
If they care about what the pantry looks like, then they've definitely been changing the air filters.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. So
Yep.
exactly. I mean, and we see it time and time again. So a home that is organized, even down to the pantry, will get you more money in the end than a home that is not decluttered or organized.
Absolutely. So I've got a couple more tips, I think. Okay, so this one is refolding the linens. There are tons of videos out there on how to refold. All that happened in this closet was the refolding, and you can see just how much better it looks. Something that I like to do is I'll fold the fitted sheet and the flat sheet, and then oftentimes you have two pillowcases. So I'll put one pillowcase on top, and you can see I did it here. You take the other one and wrap it around the pillow, or wrap it around the sheet set. Not only does it keep it together, but it also makes it look nice.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah. All right, so next one. All right, and so this is, you mentioned this in the beginning, utilize what you have for staging. So the bookshelf on the right, we decluttered it, but then we utilized the same books, flipped them around. That way it's very neutral, very easy to look at, but just still utilized it to stage this library. So that way a buyer walking in goes, wow, like this would be an amazing place to read a book, and I don't even read, you know? So you touched on this in the beginning, utilize the lamps, utilize the photographs that are very neutral like this one, and feel like encourage yourself to pull things from other rooms. Just because it's in the living room right now doesn't mean that it wouldn't look great in the guest bedroom. Absolutely. Or vice versa, and kind of utilize things throughout your home to make it a nice staged cohesive look.
I mean, that even goes for furniture. I'll tell you a quick personal story. My parents' home years ago, we had it was on the market for 2 years. It couldn't sell, and they ended up putting a stager in it, and that sold that week. And it was amazing. This is my childhood home, and seeing, I think it was our dining room table. It ended up being in our basement, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, and yet it did. It really brought that space together. And staging is meant to show a buyer what the potential could be. And unfortunately, when we're living in our home day to day, we see it in that specific light, not in all possibilities. And staging really opens that up to what those possibilities can be for that space that we may not typically think of. So, yep. Wonderful, wonderful.
Do I have any more pictures? Oh, I do. Okay, so this is another one. Just make it inviting, and this kind of goes back to taking a step back and looking at it. Using symmetry, so making things even on both sides, putting things in baskets, opening the blinds and bringing that natural light in, just makes things so inviting. You look at it and you go, oh, this is our new home. And you know, you as the homeowner look at it and go, those are my kids' toys. But it completely transforms it when you stage it in a way that makes it nice and inviting and welcoming to come in. So that often is, you know, when you're standing at the door, you do want a clear path into the room. You want to keep things, you know, off to the side. Maybe, you know, if you've got, like in this playroom here, this would be looking at it kind of head on. If you turned kind of this way is where the door was. So it was a nice path right through the door, and then this was off to the side. Same with this closet over here that was standing in the doorway looking in. So it made a nice welcoming, like, come sit in the closet.
Absolutely. Oh, it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do I have any more? I don't,
No,
yes.
no,
Okay.
that's okay.
This is what happens when you're not driving the PowerPoint. So keeping it up. This is probably the hardest part of selling a home, is keeping it up, especially when you have kids and when you have dogs or pets. I know that when we sold our home, we didn't have any kids, but we did have a German Shepherd, which is kind of like a kid.
Oh yeah, we have one.
So something that I did every single night was I would do a clean sweep through the house. So that way the next morning I could get up, do very minimal things, grab my coffee, and get out of the door.
Absolutely.
I like to run through the house, and I'll use the laundry basket trick. That's where you take a laundry basket with you, go through the whole house, and pick up anything that doesn't belong in that room, take it back to one central location, and then you take and put the things back.
Awesome.
So also, run through your living room, maybe the guest rooms, arrange the pillows, go ahead and clean the kitchen, wipe down the bathroom surfaces, clean the glass before you go to bed, glass doors, storm doors, stuff like that. And then do a sweep or a dry mop. I have the Bona dry mop, which is amazing. It's the big fluffy pad that's on there. Or if you do have pets, run the vacuum. It's a quick, easy way. Not only does it make it nice for buyers to come into, but it also makes it nice to wake up to when your house is clean.
Absolutely.
So, and then, like I said, leave the house ready when you leave. So that way, when you get the notification or the phone call that you've got a showing in 20 minutes, hey, can we stop by? You're like, yeah, sure, go ahead, instead of having to cancel or make it inconvenient for the buyer, because that also puts a bad taste in the buyer's mouth when they go, wait, why can't we go look at the house? Why isn't it ready? What are they trying to hide?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
going back to that laundry basket trick, I mean, that's something, if you say you have your home and you're just finishing up dinner and you have that shower request come in, take that laundry basket, fill it up, and just take that even with you,
Yes.
off in a closet where somebody can't see. Just I mean, that is something I know we talked about that last time, and just clicked. It's just such a great little thing. And the great thing with all of this is when you have it, all the items, I know it sounds very stressful. The beauty of this is it by setting up your home and staging it correctly, getting all the paint and everything cleaned up correctly, that's not only going to get you the most dollar for your home because we have the right marketing, the condition is right, but it'll sell it faster, meaning that's less showings, less worry. You get what you need and you get to move on much faster because these items are done. So
Yep.
really it makes all the difference in the world. And really we have seen it. We have had some clients that aren't able to, for whatever reason, to get their home cleaned up at first when they go on the market, and then we start getting the feedback in that says, no, we need XYZ done. It might be paint, it might be flooring, it might be just decluttering, and then as soon as that's done, we get an offer and we get it under contract. And you just imagine how much more money they could have had if we did that originally. So it is worth it to do that. There is another great feature in real estate is something called coming soon. So if you're ready to sell your home, you can actually get it listed coming soon on the MLS, not allow showings, and still have it be marketed during that time while you're doing all these items to get it cleaned up. And then as soon as you're ready to go, get those pictures done and get it fully ready for showings. And that really helps in these kind of situations where we just need to get some last minute touches like this started. So.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, Erica, you've been fantastic. Do you have anything else to add? Just the last little bit?
No, it can be very stressful, but when you have a clear plan of what to do, you just start at the beginning and you just work your way through. And so there are people like Lisa, there are people like me that can come alongside you to help get you through the process. It is so much fun to start with a client like I did last week who was like, head cut, chicken with her head cut off, running around crazy, and go, okay, wait, let's pull it back a little bit, We're going to start here and then we'll move on to the next one. And by the end of today, you know, movers come tomorrow, she was able to go out to dinner
Wow.
before the movers come. So her and her family are out to dinner having like a, you know, last night celebratory we're moving dinner. And that's kind of what the point of having somebody like me, like Lisa, come alongside you to guide you through the process. So
Absolutely.
you know, I always do free consultations. I would love to, you know, give advice or help. And if we are a good fit, I would love to work with any of your sellers, Lisa. Of course, you know,
Absolutely.
we've got a great
Absolutely.
relationship, and so yeah, that's kind of where we are. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under Erica B Solutions, and that's also my website. It's Erica, Erika, the letter B Solutions.com.
And Erica, what's your phone number too, just so in case they need that to
Yeah, it's 910-620-1143, and you can find that on any of those platforms.
Okay, perfect. And I will say too, I mean, I know you're not gonna flaunt flaunt you know, further into your business. I will flaunt you for a minute. Your prices are very affordable. You're very reasonable, and I mean, your work is just amazing. So
Thank
really,
you.
that's really why I wanted to bring you on here. I mean, you're just a wealth of knowledge, and we're very grateful for you and what you've done for our home. So I know you're just amazing with helping families. So we look forward to our partnership in the future as well. So um,
Thanks.
so there's little bit about Erica, a little bit about the process. If anybody has any questions for me, real estate related, you can reach me directly. Our Facebook page is Next Page Real Estate Team, and then my direct number is 910-512-0003. So thanks so much for joining us. And again, reach out to Erica I with any questions, and have a great night.
Bye.